Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76, my original channel. First of all, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. If you want to donate something to the channel, that information is below in the description box, and you can also leave a super thanks. Also, consider joining, or should I say, please consider joining the Big Words LLC Newsletter, as I am a writer in addition to being a YouTube content creator. Well, everyone, I am on location once again, this time from Big D, Dallas, and I stopped off on a trip further out west to interview Timothy Newsome, the founder and the Chief Technology Officer of Newtec Business Solutions. With the focus on this channel now being heavily weighted in the educational area, I thought it would be valuable to interview Timothy to learn about how he got his start in science and how he got his start in business and how he became interested in those two areas. And I thought that would be valuable for me to learn about, and I thought it would be valuable for those of you in the audience who would be interested in that type of thing. I thought it would be valuable for you all as well. Now, the other thing is, so that's education and technology and entrepreneurship. The other thing is, Timothy used to play for the Dallas Cowboys under the legendary head coach Tom Landry. That's why I also wanted to interview him. So I'm going to get a little creative with this particular offering. So I have chopped it up into 3 parts. The first part, which you're about to watch here on this channel, is going to involve Timothy's educational background and his start and how he got interested in technology. Over on Big Discussions 76 Sports, I'm going to upload the portion where we talk about his playing days at Winston-Salem State University and America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. So we're going to talk about his college and professional careers. That piece will be uploaded over there on my sports channel. I'm going to share it on the community tab here in case any of you want to look at it. And then the third part is going to involve his company, Newtec Business Solutions. I'm going to upload that piece over on Big Discussions 76, Science and Technology. Once again, once I upload that, I will share it on the community tab here for those of you who aren't subscribed over there. So if you haven't, please consider subscribing to Big Discussions 76, Science and Technology. So there was something in this for everyone, I believe. So if you watch any of these pieces, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if you learned something. So when this snippet is over, I'm going to cut right to, you'll see the credential slide immediately after I finish this, immediately after this first portion finishes. So I'll just say right now, once again, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to throw something in the tip jar, if you want to make a donation, that information is below. Please consider joining the Big Words LLC Newsletter. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Enjoy. Bye-bye. Writing projects. Well, I'm on location in Dallas, Texas, so I'm on the road again. And today I am sitting with Timothy Newsome, who is the founder and Chief Technology Officer of Newtec Business Solutions. And so we're going to talk about several different things, and I was just telling Timothy that with my I have several channels. I'll probably break this up and upload the different parts onto different channels, because as you'll see, Timothy, not only is he running this company, not only did he start this company, but he has a very decorated athletics history, and he was a driven student when he was in school, and a very, very well accomplished student when he was in school. And I think there's something here to learn for everybody. So Timothy, thank you for this opportunity to talk to you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay. So I have to credit and thank my mentor, Mark. I'll just refer to him as Mark. I'll leave his last name anonymous. Well, you know his last name is, because I'm saying that's his brother. So I want to acknowledge Mark for not only for his guidance, but also for putting me in touch with Timothy. If I recall correctly, years ago, it might have been, there was an event. It might have, I don't know if it was one of the CBC events, but you were recognized there, and I didn't get to attend that one. But all throughout the years, Mark has said that you should talk to Timothy.
Oh.
So, but I have a science and technology YouTube channel, so when I saw what your business was involved in, that's when I said, okay, yeah, now's the time.
Okay, great.
Okay, so as I described, Timothy, I have several blocks of questions here. So we'll start with the first block, which is your background. So you are from, you and your family are from Ahoskie.
Ahoskie, North Carolina.
Is that with the O or A?
A.
Ahoskie.
Yes.
Okay, now that's on the eastern side?
Northeastern part of the state of North Carolina. It's about 60 miles south of Norfolk, Virginia.
Oh, okay. Okay. How many siblings?
I have 5 brothers and sisters, but I have a deceased sister.
Okay. All right. Well, let's, I've heard stories about your mother and your father and the role models that they were, and how they encouraged education. But reading through your background, it seems like you were a very accomplished student, a very driven student early on. Talk about that. Talk about, well, first of all, how your parents developed that love of education in you, and also how you picked that up and just took it and ran with it yourself.
Sure. Well, my mother went to college, majored in history, attended Shaw University. She then attended Howard University School of Law in the early 1940s, which was a little unusual for an African-American woman to do in those days. She met my father in Newport News, Virginia, in the late 40s, early 50s. They got married, and they decided to settle in Ahoskie, North Carolina. And so my mother was a school teacher. She taught history, and she instilled in all of us a need to have a quality education, and subjects that she felt I may needed some assistance in, she would provide that assistance after school. So we were always academic focused as children growing up in their household. And so I just decided to continue on that effort and do the kinds of things that would create an environment of learning that was more spontaneous than having to be told to do things just because it was something that I should be doing. So it became a habit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now were you a stellar student starting at grade, the first grade, or did you pick up at some point? Or
it took me a while to actually excel in terms of the letter grades I was getting. I was more of a C student growing up, and as I began to move into the later grades, I became a better student. I think the reason that happened is because I decided to take my academic coursework a lot more seriously. I was playing 3 sports, I was working on a farm, I was helping my father with his service station. So I had a lot of other things going at the same time. It's just a matter of me trying to provide that focus when I needed it to bear down and get my coursework, and I was able to do that.
Okay. Now, as you were going throughout, I mean, you're in the STEM sector right now. Were there any particular classes that you gravitated towards as a youth? Were you really into math and science, or were you more the humanities? Like, what were you into?
I was always interested in math.
Okay.
I had always wanted to understand why and how things work. And so when I began to matriculate through high school and then go to college, computers seemed like the thing to try to gravitate to. It was a very new technology at the time. There weren't any PCs, there weren't any mobile phones and things of that nature. But I was interested in the programming language side of things. And so I took an introductory to data processing course when I was at Winston-Salem State University, and things began to morph into greater opportunities concerning the programming languages.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's astounding to think that was pre all the PCs and
Yes.
the Macs and everything, and the computers took up so much more room than they do now. Okay, so you enjoyed the math early on, which is interestingly, that's a gateway, or should I say, what's what I'm looking for? The maths, the physics courses, those are those block some students from going forward in the sciences. So it's fascinating that you had an aptitude for that early.
Yes.
How did you develop an interest in business? Did that come later, or did you see that in your household early?
Well, at Winston-Salem State University, and because the technology of computers was so new, there was no established major in it. So what I decided to do was to major in business and then have a computer science minor. But that was more or less through happenstance. I had intended to go to Winston-Salem State University and major in health and physical education because I was such a stickler for sports and football. I played football, basketball, and baseball in high school. When I got to Winston-Salem State, I discovered that it was a lot more daunting and challenging than I had imagined. And I didn't think I was going to play very long because of it. And so I'm in the registration line, and there's a guy that I had never met before in my life. He was ahead of me. And so we struck up a conversation. He asked me, well, what are you majoring in? I said, well, I was going to major in health and physical education, but I don't think that's going to be the subject for me. He says, why not? I said, well, first of all of the coaches that are coaching me are also in the health and physical education department. And if I'm going to quit, it would be very uncomfortable for me to spend the next 4 years in that department. And I asked him what he was majoring in, and he says, well, I'm going to major in business, and I'm going to have an interest in computers. And so by the time we got to the registration line, up to the registrar's desk, I changed my major to business and minor in computer science.
Okay.
So I kind of stumbled on it.
You stumbled on it, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, one of the other reasons I asked about your business background is because there's that expertise is all throughout your family.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Okay, but it sounds like you developed an appetite for it at the collegiate level.
Yeah. Once I decided to switch from health and physical education to business, it was really an easy choice for me to make. It gave me an opportunity to get away from sports, more or less, and just focus on another side of an industry that I had watched my father participate in because he was a farmer, he was a mechanic, and he always owned his own businesses. So it was a great way to emulate some of the things that he was doing while I was growing up.
Okay. What types of businesses did your father own?
Well, he had a service station. The name of the service station was called Sunoco.
Okay.
It was very prominent on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, he also was a farmer. And so we raised various crops during the summer months. So I would work on the farm, and I'd also work in his service station. So I stayed quite busy as a youth in helping him earn a living for the family.
Okay. What, we're going to talk some more about the business aspects later, but, and I read about some of this in your bios. What advice would you give to young entrepreneurs today who would want to start a Newtec solutions type of company, or just any type of entrepreneurship?
Well, it takes two things: knowledge and patience.
Patience, okay.
And they have to go together, because there are going to be days when you will question the desire to do it. And so that patience is going to have to kick in, even though you may sometimes lack the full-fledged knowledge of it. If you have patience enough, you can gain that knowledge through time and to study and things of that nature. And so it would be those two things that I would recommend.
Okay. All right. Well, let's switch gears a little bit, and let's talk about your sports and athletics history. Describe your start as an athlete. Before, I know you